Welcome back to Motor Future. If you're shopping for a subcompact SUV in 2026, you're officially overwhelmed. This segment is exploding with hybrids, off-roaders, and luxury light cruisers that all claim to be the best. But which one actually deserves your hard-earned cash? We're skipping the fluff and diving straight into the top contenders that manage to fit an entire lifestyle into a parking spot. Buckle up and let's find your next daily driver. We're starting with the vehicle that makes every other car in this class feel just a little bit cheap, the 2026 Mazda CX-30. With a starting price of $26,000, this is likely where your search ends if you prioritize driving dynamics and interior quality over having the absolute maximum amount of cargo space. For 2026, Mazda has kept the recipe largely the same, which is a good thing because they were already cooking with premium ingredients. The headline for 2026 is the refined Air Edition. While it sounds like a new sneaker drop, it's actually a sharp styling package that adds blacked-out exterior trim, 18-inch black metallic wheels, and a unique interior featuring white leatherette with gray suede-like inserts. It looks far more expensive than it is, giving the cabin a bright, airy feel that contrasts perfectly with the dark exterior accents. But the real story remains under the hood, where you have two distinct choices. The base engine is a 2.5-liter, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, pushing out 191 horsepower. That's significantly more grunt than you get in a base Honda or Toyota. And it means you don't have to plan your highway merges 3 business days in advance. It's paired with a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission. Absolutely no rubbery CVTs here, which makes the driving experience feel planted, direct, and surprisingly athletic. For those of you who want to embarrass luxury sedans at traffic lights, the optional turbo trim delivers up to 250 horsepower on premium fuel. That's an absurd amount of power for a vehicle this size. It's like putting a rocket booster on a roller skate. The standard iActive all-wheel drive system uses G-Vectoring Control Plus, a subtle bit of software that adjusts engine torque to shift weight to the front wheels during a turn. You won't feel it working, but you will feel like a better driver. Moving from the tarmac to the trail, we have the 2026 Subaru Crosstrek. With a starting price of $27,000, this is the rugged alternative to the Mazda's tailored suit. It's exactly what you'd expect, a high-end fleece vest in car form. The big news for 2026 is the massive improvement to the hybrid powertrain. Subaru has finally given us a proper system that produces a combined 194 horsepower, making it significantly more competitive against Toyota. The standard gas models carry over with the 2-liter engine, which is a bit lethargic with 152 horsepower, and the punchier 2.5-liter engine offering 182 horsepower. If your budget allows, skip the 2-liter. The 2.5-liter is the engine this chassis deserves. Standard symmetrical all-wheel drive is the party trick here. It's always on, it's incredibly capable, and paired with 8.7 inches of ground clearance. Opt for the wilderness trim and you get 9.3 inches of clearance plus all-terrain tires aggressive enough to scare a Jeep owner. Inside, the massive 11.6-inch portrait touchscreen dominates the dash on most trims. It controls everything from navigation to climate, which is responsive but can be annoying if you just want to turn on your heated seats quickly. Speaking of seats, they are fantastic, supportive for long trips and durable enough to handle a wet dog or a muddy kid. Fuel economy on the new hybrid is a star, promising range that keeps you away from gas stations for weeks. The CVT can drone a bit when you floor it, but for sheer utility and all-weather confidence, the Crosstrek is unbeatable. Now let's talk about the sensible shoes of the group, the 2026 Honda HR-V. With a starting price of $26,200, this is the vehicle you buy when you want reliability, safety, and resale value, and you don't particularly care if your car has a flamboyant personality. That sounds harsh, but the HR-V excels at being an appliance. A very, very good appliance. For 2026, the HR-V remains physically larger than its predecessor, sharing a platform with the Civic. Unlike many rivals that use a cheaper torsion beam setup, the HR-V uses a sophisticated independent rear suspension. This translates to a ride quality that's mature and composed, simply soaking up imperfections that would unsettle a shorter wheelbase vehicle. Under the hood sits a 2-liter, 4-cylinder engine making 158 horsepower. We won't sugarcoat it, it's slow. The 0 to 60 time is leisurely, and you'll need to plan your passing maneuvers well in advance. However, the CVT transmission is one of the best in the business, mimicking actual gear shifts to avoid that rubber band sensation found in the Subaru or the Toyota. Where the HR-V wins is the interior packaging. It feels airy and open, with excellent visibility thanks to thin pillars and door-mounted mirrors. The honeycomb mesh vent design that runs across the dash looks modern and hides the air vents elegantly. The center console is high, creating a distinct cockpit feel, and features a clever pass-through storage area underneath for your phone or bag. Tech-wise, you're looking at a standard 7-inch or available 9-inch touchscreen with wireless phone mirroring on the upper trims. It's not the flashiest system, but it works instantly every time. Honda Sensing is standard across the board, giving you adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist that actually works smoothly without ping-ponging you between the lines. Cargo space is generous, with a flat-load floor that makes sliding in heavy boxes easy. It lost the old Magic seats, which is a bummer, but the rear legroom is now genuinely usable for adults. It's not exciting, but it is a masterclass in competence. If the Honda HR-V is the safe choice, the 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross is the efficiency champion, specifically the hybrid model, which starts at $29,000. Toyota has essentially taken the legendary reliability of the Corolla sedan and inflated it just enough to call it a crossover. For 2026, the front end gets a fresh look with a cleaner grille design, but the mechanical bits are what truly matter here. While the gas-only version is adequate, the hybrid is the one you actually want. It pairs the gasoline engine with electric motors to produce a combined 196 horsepower, while delivering an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon. This is a magical combination of being significantly faster and more efficient than the standard gas version. Standard all-wheel drive on the hybrid trims is a massive selling point, using a rear electric motor to provide traction when needed. It's not an off-roader like the Subaru, but it will get you up a snowy driveway without drama. Inside, the Corolla Cross is utilitarian with a fair amount of hard plastic, but the 2026 update brings Toyota's latest audio multimedia system. It's faster, it has better voice controls, and supports over-the-air updates, which helps modernize the cabin. The digital gauge cluster on higher trims is a nice touch, though the overall vibe is still function over form. The main drawback is the back seat, which is a bit tighter than the Honda or the Kia Seltos, and the rear doors don't open particularly wide, which can be a pain for loading car seats. But if your goal is to spend the absolute minimum amount of money on gasoline while driving a car that will likely outlast the sun, the Corolla Cross Hybrid is the undisputed winner. By the way, if you're digging this list so far, hit that new hype button to let us know. It helps keep the gas tank full and the lights on. Now, if you want maximum bang for your buck, you look at the 2026 Kia Seltos, which enters the market with a starting price of $23,700. Kia has mastered the art of features per dollar, and this is their best example. It sits on the larger end of the subcompact spectrum, offering interior space that rivals some SUVs in the class above. The exterior design remains sharp and modern, highlighted by the distinct star map lighting signature that makes it instantly recognizable at night. It doesn't look like a budget compromise, it looks like a deliberate style choice. Inside, the dashboard steals the show with a panoramic display combining two 10.25-inch screens on upper trims. It looks premium, resembling the setup in a much more expensive German luxury car, and the interface is snappy and intuitive. Kia didn't bury everything in menus, thankfully keeping physical controls for climate and volume. You also get access to features that are practically unheard of in this price bracket, such as ventilated front seats, a power liftgate, and Kia's digital key, which lets you unlock and drive the car with just your smartphone. Under the hood, you have two distinct personalities. The base 2-liter engine is adequate for city commuting, but the turbo model is the sweet spot. It pushes 195 horsepower through a traditional 8-speed automatic transmission. This is a crucial update as Kia dropped the jerky dual-clutch transmission of the past, resulting in a drive that's smooth in traffic yet punchy when you need to merge. It's genuinely fun to hustle around town. The trade-off is refinement. The Seltos lets in a bit more road noise than the Mazda or the Honda, and the suspension can feel a little busy over rough pavement. But when you factor in the massive cargo area, complete with a dual-level floor, and Kia's industry-leading 10-year powertrain warranty, the Seltos becomes the undeniable choice for the tech-savvy buyer who wants it all. With a starting price of $25,350, the 2026 Hyundai Kona proves that practical doesn't have to mean boring. It's the Seltos' extroverted sibling, trading a conventional grille for a robotic face that ensures you will never lose it in a parking lot. The design is unapologetically futuristic, dominated by a seamless horizon LED strip that spans the entire width of the hood. It looks like a starship, and you'll either love it or hate it. There is no middle ground. While slightly shorter than the Seltos, the Kona feels wider and more planted on the road. The interior is a massive leap forward from the previous generation, featuring a floating center console design that opens up incredible space for storage. Like its sibling, it features dual 12.3-inch screens on the upper trims, running Hyundai's excellent software that's both faster and prettier than before. Powertrains remain familiar, a base 2-liter engine that gets the job done, and a punchy 1.6-liter turbo found in the higher trims that makes highway passing effortless. For 2026, the lineup sees a shakeup, with the new SEL Sport trim taking over the athletic duties, adding aggressive body cladding, unique wheels, and dark accents. It looks fast standing still, even if the engine output remains the same as the premium trim. One unique aspect of the Kona is the driver-centric curved dash layout. Hyundai has wisely kept physical buttons for climate and volume, proving they actually listen to customer feedback. The shift-by-wire gear selector has been moved to the steering column, freeing up that massive center console space for cup holders and wireless charging pads. If you're open to electrification, the Kona Electric is available and is one of the best affordable EVs on the market. But even sticking to the gas models, the Kona offers a ride that's surprisingly smooth and quiet, feeling far more substantial than its price tag suggests. Let's talk value. In a world where new car prices are spiraling into the stratosphere, the 2026 Chevrolet Trax is the reality check we all need. Starting at an incredible $21,600, it proves you don't need to spend $30,000 to get a good car. Chevy has completely ditched the bubbly rental car aesthetics of the old model for a wider stance and a grille that screams baby blazer rather than budget econobox. You can even choose your vibe. The active trim brings a rugged monochromatic look, while the 2RS adds sporty red accents and larger wheels. There is a catch: no all-wheel drive. The Trax is front-wheel drive only. But let's be honest, for many of you living in the Sunbelt or in the suburbs where a snowstorm just means the roads are wet for an hour, that simply doesn't matter. By skipping the heavy all-wheel drive hardware, Chevy kept the weight down and the price grounded. Under the hood lies a tiny 1.2-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. On paper, it sounds like a sewing machine, but in practice, it produces 162 pound-feet of torque that hits low in the rev range. Crucially, Chevy pairs this with a traditional 6-speed automatic transmission, not a droning CVT. This means when you step on the gas, it actually shifts gears, making the Trax feel punchy and zippy around town. The interior is where the value really shines. It's surprisingly stylish, with circular vents and an available 11-inch touchscreen angled towards the driver. The back seat is huge, legitimately huge, thanks to a stretched wheelbase. If you can live without all-wheel drive, and you don't mind some harder plastics on the door panels, the Trax is the undeniable bargain king of the industry. But what if you love the value of the Chevy Trax, but you absolutely need all-wheel drive? Enter the 2026 Nissan Kicks, starting at a very competitive $22,430. For years, the Kicks was just a budget hatchback on stilts, but this new generation is a total reinvention. Nissan has finally listened to customers and added all-wheel drive as an option across the lineup, instantly making it a viable alternative to the Subaru Crosstrek for thousands less. Visually, it's unrecognizable from the old model. The design is boxy, bold, and supposedly inspired by sneaker culture. Look closely at the rocker panels and you'll see texture meant to mimic the sole of a shoe. It sounds gimmicky, but in person, it actually works. Under the hood, the old weak engine is gone, replaced by a 2-liter 4-cylinder making 141 horsepower. It won't win any drag races against the Mazda, but it feels robust enough for daily use. And the CVT transmission has been tuned to simulate shifts so it doesn't drone endlessly on the highway. The real reason to buy the Kicks, however, is the comfort. Nissan puts their zero-gravity seats in both the front and the rear outboard positions. These seats are scientifically designed to reduce fatigue, and they're genuinely the most comfortable seats in the entire segment. Tech is also strong with available dual 12.3-inch screens on the SV and SR trims that look like they came out of a luxury car. If you want a comfortable, tech-forward daily driver that can handle a snowy day without breaking the bank, the Kicks is arguably the smartest buy on this list. Finally, we have the most improved player on the roster, the 2026 Volkswagen Taos, which starts at $26,500. When the Taos first launched, it was plagued by a jumpy dual-clutch transmission that made low-speed driving frustrating. For 2026, Volkswagen has fixed it. The 1.5-liter turbo engine, which now makes a healthy 174 horsepower, is paired with a conventional 8-speed automatic transmission across the board. This one change transforms the car. It's now smooth off the line and predictable in traffic. The Taos brings a European driving flavor to the segment. The steering is light but accurate, and the brakes have a firm, reassuring bite. Visually, the 2026 update includes a new front bumper and a light bar that connects the headlights, giving it that signature Volkswagen night look. Inside, the Taos feels the most grown-up of the group. The layout is logical, the digital cockpit is highly customizable, and the seats are firm in that distinctively German way that keeps your back happy on long drives. It's also a packaging miracle. The Taos looks small on the outside, but it has a cargo area that rivals the larger Tiguan. It is boxy, which means you can stack boxes to the roof without crushing them against a sloping hatch glass. Reliability has been a question mark for Volkswagen, but the driving dynamics and the interior space make a compelling case. If you want a subcompact that feels like a scaled-down luxury car rather than a scaled-up hatchback, the updated Taos is worth a test drive. So where do you put your money? If you prioritize driving dynamics and a premium cabin, buy the Mazda CX-30. If you live where the pavement ends, get the Subaru Crosstrek. For a bulletproof commuter that holds value forever, choose the Honda HR-V or the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. If you want maximum tech and space for the price, the Kia Seltos is the pick. And for the budget-conscious buyer who still wants style, the Chevy Trax is the undeniable bargain king. This segment isn't just for starter cars anymore. These are fully realized vehicles that just happen to fit in small garages. Go drive a few, see which seat fits your back, and let us know in the comments which one you'd take home.